If you walk around downtown Montpelier today, it would be hard to believe the city experienced historic floods just a year ago that caused catastrophic damage to businesses and dozens of homes. But under the surface, the effects of the flood, the lingering fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, and their impact on the work schedule of state employees have brought the economic future of Montpelier into question. Things were very different last July when torrential rains caused the Winooski River to rise well above flood stage in a matter of hours. Water levels in many stores exceeded 4 feet, and most basements were totally destroyed. It's been estimated that roughly 140 downtown businesses suffered more than $20 million in damages in just a 24-hour period.
It was such devastation downtown, and for the few days and weeks afterwards, it just looked like a war zone or a natural disaster zone.
I've never experienced anxiety like that before in my life. I mean, I would wake up at night and I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. It was really horrible.
Everyone was just kind of wandering around a kind of silted, watery shell of a downtown, just wondering what's next, like zombies.
Despite the incredible challenges presented by the flood, many businesses remain committed to being located in downtown Montpelier.
You know, it was tough, but I feel a commitment. I live here, and I love small, old downtowns, and I think downtowns have to be viable. FEMA doesn't help businesses. FEMA only helps homeowners, which is great. So we had to take out a small business loan. And I wasn't generating any income, even though it wasn't due till next October, but it was just that worry of how am I going to pay my bills? When am I going to reopen? Can I reopen? I was closed until Black Friday.
We had to find a different location, and we did find one that didn't actually flood during this past July flood. That doesn't mean that it won't flood with a larger flood in the future, but this didn't flood by about an inch or so. Most businesses, they don't have that luxury of moving to another spot. So if we had another devastating flood, we're a lot of mom and pop shops. So, people take out loans, mortgage their homes. They put a lot of money on the line, their personal money. And can they do that twice? Probably not.
One of the challenges facing many businesses is the dramatic decline in state employees working in the city. It's a trend that started with the 2020 pandemic and has been exacerbated by the significant damage done to state buildings during the flood. Human Resources Commissioner Beth Fastigi says there are roughly 2,500 state employees in Montpelier, and about half of them now have a remote schedule that allows them to come into the office 2 days a week or less. She says this work environment is the new reality and is unlikely to change in the future.
Remote work became much more common as employees learned how to do that successfully and found they were very productive, and there were so many other benefits like work-life balance, better work environment, reduction on any commuting barriers, and it also allowed us to remain more competitive in the job market. Employees are used to it and they're expecting that flexibility.
Perhaps the sector hardest hit by the loss of state workers is the restaurant industry. Brian Lewis is the owner of 2 restaurants in town, the Filibuster Cafe and Yellow Mustard. He says a recent survey of about a dozen businesses shows that revenue is down around 40% from before the pandemic.
That's massive. Try and take a 40% reduction in your salary and see how you do paying your bills. Something's gonna have to go, right? Montpelier is on a very short life cycle right now. Not having workers coming into downtown due to remote work is not benefiting anyone other than a small population. A lot of these businesses put open signs back up, but they all took out massive amounts of debt.
Another factor complicating the return of state workers to Montpelier is the enormous damages that the flood caused to state buildings in the downtown Capitol complex. It's going to take years to totally reopen these buildings, according to Jennifer Fitch, the State Buildings and Grounds Commissioner. She says these buildings need to be flood-proofed, and that means moving all of the electrical, mechanical, and air handling systems that are currently housed in the basements to above flood levels on the first floor.
I very much think it's going to be somewhere in the 3 to 4 year time frame for complete construction and completely occupied spaces. And that's because it's a Herculean planning effort, but then it will move into design and then construction. And all of those different phases take time. And it's a really complex network of buildings.
One group that played a pivotal role in flood recovery efforts is Montpelier Alive. Immediately after the flood, they coordinated relief programs and organized volunteers to help businesses clean up. Katie Trouts is the executive director of Montpelier Alive. She says there's no quick fix to the challenges facing the city.
Businesses have really had to pivot to figure out how to compensate for the lack of workers downtown, especially the lunch spots and the restaurant industry. It's been extremely challenging. It's a very long process when you look at the big picture, and it's really going to take a few years to hit a sense of normalcy here. But I think we've worked really hard collectively as a community, and our streets are clean, and we've put a lot of efforts into beautification.
A major question facing many downtown businesses is if they can hold on while the state's recovery plan unfolds. It's a process that could easily take 3 to 5 years to complete.
If we just see a little bit of support and people realizing, hey, this city is in a tough spot, we need to act quickly, like people will rally behind that.
You have to be optimistic. You know, we love this community, love doing what we do, love seeing all of our friends who are customers come in here every day. Friends are our staff and employees as well. We go on group rides together, so we want to stick around and we want to be part of that.
I just feel like it's important for me to be here. It's scary, but important.